You've been using the bar wrong this entire time. The most popular setup isn't the proper way to use it if you want it to be the best long-range AR in Warzone. Luckily, I'm here to fix your class setup and show you why my build is better by going over a few stats. Then I'll give you the class setup and some gameplay to see how it performs in action. The main factor in how you're using the bar wrong is going to be the ammo type. 82% of the player base is using the Clouser ammo when they should be using the BMG. The main reason people are using the Clouser is going to be because they think the recoil is so low and it's easy to use. But why don't we look at this recoil next to my BMG bar? It doesn't move. The optic shakes a little bit more, but the gun actually isn't moving at all. And the perfect way to combat the visual recoil is going to be to tap fire the weapon, in which it won't affect the TTK, because if you have a good trigger finger, you'll be emptying out the clip in nearly identical times. As you're going to see, I'll be tap firing on the right side, and the left side will be me just holding down the trigger. Not only does tap firing almost equal holding down the trigger, it actually makes the recoil even less on top of eliminating most of the visual recoil. And then the BMG ammo does not only have less recoil, it also is going to have a better TTK up close with my setup at 825 milliseconds to 854, and at long range they're actually going to be very similar, but the popular setup will be slightly better with 976 milliseconds to 990. But the true advantage lies within the headshot damage being 77 instead of 59 at long range, making it only take one headshot to lower your time to kill back down to 825 milliseconds, making it way faster. Hitting one headshot isn't a challenge, especially with the far superior bullet velocity of this BMG bar at 1,658 meters per second to 1327. The higher bullet velocity means less bullet drop off, and you don't have to lead your shots as much. One of the many benefits that the BMG ammo is going to have with long range combat. It is excellent at knocking players out of the sky and off of head glitches. And the benefits don't just stop right there. We're going to have a far better range with 48 meters to 33. That 15 meter gap will have a lot of fights with it, where you will be having a huge time to kill advantage of 825 milliseconds to 976. That is 151 milliseconds, which will make a giant difference in the outcome of a lot of fights. And now I've already talked about the damage a little bit, but the BMG is going to have a gigantic advantage here, with its average damage being nearly 60 up close and 51.5 at long range. That means on average, each bar shot will be taking out one plate at long range. That is incredible. You don't understand how much fear that puts in your enemy. And on top of that, I'm very much into the damage for mag stat, making weapons perform much better, and this is no exception. They both are 40 round mags, but the BMG is going to make much more use of each bullet. Do you know how much better that's going to make the bar perform in bigger modes like trios and quads? Astronomically. They both have the same reload time, but I can easily knock out a whole squad with one mag using the BMG ammo, but it will be much more difficult with the Clouser, putting you into less advantageous situations. Then you're probably thinking the movement with the heavy ammo is going to be much worse, but if we actually bring up the stats right here, they're actually going to be very similar, with the BMG bar having a better ADS strafe, which is very important on assault rifles at long range, and then we also have better sprint to fire. That one isn't quite as important, I'll give you that. Then the Clouser bar will have the better sprinting speed, and 3 milliseconds better with its aim down sight speed, which isn't noticeable when you're using the weapon. There's only really one big advantage to using the Clouser bar over the BMG one, and that's going to be the fire rate being 492 rounds per minute to 364. But that doesn't matter when we're mainly using this BMG bar like it's a DMR. And 492 rounds per minute is super slow as well, so it's not like you're firing away super quickly and it's a huge advantage over other weapons. Let me recap this really quickly for you. We're going to have better TTKs, better range, better bullet velocity, better damage and damage per mag, equal movement, and has less recoil, and if we tap fire it, it will remove the visual recoil, making it the best long-range AR for any engagement over 100 meters, while still being very competitive from 20 to 100 meters. This is the ultimate gun to get people off of head glitches. Let's get this video to 50 likes if you didn't know the BMG ammo was better than the Clouser. Make sure to subscribe to AscendAR Warzone gameplay above the competition. And now let me give you the class setup for it. If you already know, we're going to have the BMG ammo instead, but then we're going to do a couple things to kind of fix the mobility issues that it's going to create. So to begin with, we switched to the 27-inch barrel from the 30 on the popular setup because this isn't going to hurt our movement, and it's still going to make the gun really accurate and increase our range. Then we also go with the Mercury silencer because this does not actually lower our aim down sight speed, and we still get recoil control and bullet velocity, so it's still really useful. Then we're going to use the Cooper SP stock instead of the Chariot one because this actually still helps our recoil control and it doesn't hurt our movement nearly as bad. And then we also get initial firing recoil, which is very important because we're going to be tap firing this as if it's a DMR. That way we get rid of that visual recoil. And what the initial firing recoil does is it makes the first 4 bullets more accurate. So if you want to hold down the trigger for 2 or 3 bullets, it's still going to be working with that initial firing recoil. And then we also have the stippled grip tape on here as well to help with our initial firing recoil. And now from here we got hard scope because that's obviously just going to be the best perk, the only one that really helps your accuracy here. Technically you could go with focus as well, but we already have multiple attachments going towards flinch resistance. And then we have the Carver foregrip because this one is actually going to help our recoil out the most. But if you really want, you could switch it up to the hand stop because this one wouldn't actually hurt our aim down sight speed. But I'm really liking the Carver, and that's why this thing doesn't move at all. Now let's quickly jump into the gameplay. I missed the first few kills of the game because I wasn't expecting it to be that great, and then all of a sudden I caught fire. I started getting a bunch of kills with this bar and thought it was a perfect gameplay to show its strengths and why it's so good. And then make sure to come back to the video after you try out this class setup and let me know how you're liking it.
Car.
Man, that was so filthy with that C4, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. I downed one? Oh, I'm not. I got the one down by the tent up there. Thank you for the res, I appreciate it. Careful here. Got the last one on that team.
There's 3 guys just chilling in this little shed.
We could all C4 it, that'd probably be the best bet if they're...
Oh my god.
Taking a lot of heat.
I'm gonna call in my UAV.
UAV beginning flyover. I'm under 25 remain.
Another one pushing you, Austin?
I buy it. Thanks for the help. Thanks for the help. I might go back towards this buy station guy where we came from. Where the loadout was called in a bit ago. Anyone got a UAV still, or we used them all?
I do.
Can you call it?
I'm chasing
Allied
people.
UAV overhead.
You guys
Hunt.
are.
I'm gonna get this loadout.
They're watching you, they're watching you.
Downed him. He's dead. I'm gonna shoot the flyer.
There's another one like right next to you.
He's flying. Or no, he isn't. Oh.
No, he's knocked right next to you.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm oblivious. Sorry. Broke the guy's armor in the sky. I broke him.
Contact over here.
Someone's gonna go for that plane for sure.
Downed him.
Stuff.
I don't know if he has a
10
self.
remain. Victory is within reach.
Option plane.
Dead.
Because of that.
Hey, there is in the open.
Closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Damn it! I even tried to game it.
Oh, that was a shot.
Go.
They're all looking at me. I blew them out.
You made it to the top 5. Smashing. Gas is moving.
Very sorry.
I died because I didn't shoot at the beginning.
I apologize for that one.
Window
Gotta push up.
Get to safety.
I'm gonna try to attack
Got him.
He's white.
Oh,
Back up.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, he's tagged armor. I
Alright.
tagged him armor. You're right here. Right there.
I'm just gonna push up with my Blixen. Thank you. Alright, next one would be it.
Camping.
He's by me. Got it, thank you. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Thank you, guys.